My arms shivered with goosebumps when Emma and Janie got there. I held my arms tight to my sides. I didn't know it got this cold in the summer, I said as they joined me under the glow of the Walmart sign overhead. Sorry it took so long. Emma's dad would not go to sleep, Janie said. Emma huffed. If you would have hopped the fence with me, we would have made it sooner. They were always like that. It made me wonder why Emma invited Janie over to spend the night and not me. Either way, it's freezing, and I want to get to the mall as soon as possible, I said with a slight shiver in my voice. We laughed and told each other what horrible things were going to happen to us in the infamous mall for 15 minutes as we walked the sporadically lighted streets between the Walmart and the abandoned mall. They were tearing the thing down next week. This was our chance to finally explore it. As we got closer, we joked less, each of us trying to convince the others of our confidence. We made the last turn, and the mall peered from behind the trees like it was waiting for us. Fuck! I let slip. It looks worse than I thought. The cold was starting to hurt. Don't back out so early, Liz, Janie said. This isn't going to be like Halloween. Wasn't that you who backed out? Emma asked with a laugh. Janie rolled her eyes as we made our way through the empty parking lot. The mall felt hollow as we approached. As if we were not careful, it would pull us down like a whirlpool. We were silent by the time we got to the broken glass door of the Macy's. Everyone knew how to get into the mall. It was a common hangout spot for the rougher kids. Smoking, drinking, everything that I was not into. We stood around the opening. I could hear the wind pulling us in. We only have 5 hours until sunrise. Let's get going, I said, projecting a fearless attitude I did not have. After you, Janie said. I crouched through the open pane, and I am in. It reeked of piss and weed. The lights from the parking lot were blocked out to near total darkness by plywood. The town tried to keep people out. They did not try hard enough. It took a moment before my eyes fully adjusted to the darkness. By the time I could make out empty racks, empty beer cans, and layers of grime, Emma and Janie were standing inside with me. Being in here made it feel less ominous, less terrifying. It almost took the fun out of it. A piercing wail rang out through the mall, sharp and fantastic like a dying animal. It echoed. It was distant. Emma grabbed my hand and stepped back towards the door. Janie looked at us, trying to judge our reaction before showing hers. I squeezed Emma's hand, comforting her as much as myself. Do you think that was an animal? Janie asked, as if it was not the slightest bit unsettling. I don't think we should stay. We already did more than we did last time. Let's go and call it a win, Emma said, pulling my arm enough to cause me to step backwards. I think it was probably a raccoon or something, I said for Emma as much as myself. We won't have the chance to do this again. I think we should at least get inside the concourse first. I regretted saying it as soon as my lips stopped moving. This was wrong, and we all knew it. We were playing off each other, though. It was inevitable. We went deeper into the store. Mannequins watched us walk in a tight line toward the concourse. Their featureless faces felt alive in the shadows. My breath quickened, the darkness ever more imposing. By the time we got to the concourse, we knew we were too far to turn back. The silver moonlight illuminated the endless main hall. Empty storefronts all had security cages pulled down. It was like a zoo or a prison. Trash filled the corners, and stains covered the walls. Whatever that place was like in its day was completely absent then. We were all taking the desolation in silence. It felt like the shadows began to shift. Breathless, constant wailing pierced the silence. It reverberated around us. It was coming from every direction. Emma screamed. I grasped her hand. Janie started back towards the Macy's. We followed, running as fast as we could. The wailing shifted, gurgling and strained as it grew louder. It wormed into my mind, pulling me. It was getting closer, and it was not a raccoon. We sprinted back through the store. The mannequins were closer, their eyeless faces turned towards us. My legs were burning, my breathing strained, but the cries pushed me forward. It was everywhere inside my head. Dust fell through the beam of light coming from the hole in the door. We were so close. The wailing vibrated through my teeth, burrowed into my skull. Emma's hand was tight in mine. I held on like it was my lifeline. Her hand tore from mine so hard, I almost fell. Emma! I gasped. Janie's figure slipped through the hole as I turned. Emma was gone, and it was there. Teeth, slick with blood and saliva, glistened in the dark. Red eyes burned into mine. Impossible shapes writhed in the darkness, shifting like smoke. I wanted to help her. Everything in me wanted to pull her back from whatever it was. But my body didn't listen. It only cared about my survival. I only cared about my survival. I ran, scurrying out of the hole like a rat. The wailing was dripping and full. I can't think about it. I just ran. The freezing air burned my lungs. The mall loomed behind us, alive in the darkness, its shadows reaching out hungry for more. It took Emma, and it wants more.